I don't have to go there and call them, but they're actually reaching out to me to say like, I do this, let me know what you're working on. So that was just, yeah, really cool. And then, yeah, we spent 2 days in Kalamazoo, Michigan with TJ. So I don't know if anybody knows him, but he's another fortune builder. And he literally just opened up his computer and let us look at all the ways he invests in multifamily properties. So that was eye-opening. That's like next level stuff right there. So all in all,
Awesome.
really good week.
Marie,
Awesome.
that is awesome. TJ and I were just on a call a couple days ago, and we were talking about who ratted each other out because we both got each other in trouble. So I'm glad to see you guys connect, and he's a great guy.
Good.
Mickey, I'm going to tell you, I've taken your cup game and one-upped you.
I see.
Those are optical illusions.
The object in the camera will appear bigger. Yeah. No, I've always laughed at Mickey and her ginormous soup bowl for her tea. So
I know. It keeps you hydrated the whole day.
anybody else, anything to share before we shift into tonight's topic? We good?
We got Jacob. You got any wins from last week, dude?
No, I don't want to hear from him.
Hey, so we got an interesting win.
Let's hear
At first, I thought it was going to be a huge downer. We ended up having to fire one of our longest running assistants. And actually, it's worked out to be the best thing that we ever did because it forced us to step back, look at areas he was doing wrong, and then turn around and reevaluate. Do we really need to hire someone for that? Can we outsource it here? Can we outsource it there? And in doing so, it allowed us to get better, better quality for the money that we were putting out. And so super excited about that. And the streamline the systems that were kind of clunky, it allowed us to make them more streamlined. So we're very excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, sometimes internal change can come with frustration. But then we start to realize it was actually needed. We were just being blind to it. So awesome.
So Sean, I can share the win of today, which I didn't consider it as a win, but as we were going through the hotspot training and all this learning curve that is pushing me out of my comfort zone, but I'm growing, so that's fine. So we got into analyzing the data that we're having on our website. We're having eyeballs on it. It's fine. But as I was telling to Sean, I was like, this is not what I want. I want the seller to actually come, but I'm having all the other people that are, that's not what I want. And so we got into talking more about how my market is actually working, meaning that the website is working well. All the other things are working because the data is there. So the thing that wasn't working well is how I'm baiting for my fish and having to change the message, how it's going there. So I'm excited to actually work on something that is super, just super very targeted and to know exactly what I need to change, because now I know that it actually works. That if I just change this parameter, then the rest is going to follow. So that was an eye-opening for me.
Great share, which actually is a perfect segue into tonight's topic. We're going to be rounding out this series on the customer journey, right? The customer journey of the get start. Awareness, engagement, into subscribe. Last week we talked a lot about awareness and what is really the goal at the awareness phase and what is our job, the job of our marketing at the awareness phase. And then we kind of ended the night talking a little bit about what is some of that content that is used for awareness that pushes somebody into the engaged phase of things. Tonight we're going to shift and get into what do we use at the engage phase? How do we start to change this content now a little bit? How do we create some things that will take somebody from not just looking at us and maybe interacting here and there to actually kind of committing in a sense? Not full commitment, right? They're not becoming a customer of ours just yet, but they're willing to exchange some information. They're willing to give up phone numbers, emails, these type of things to have a deeper conversation. And as I joke about all the time, you translate that to dating, they're willing to start going to dinner with us and go get some coffee and get to know us a little bit more so that eventually we can move them into that deeper phase. So before we go into it, for those that were on last week, little pop quiz here in the chat box, go ahead and drop it in there. Somebody tell me, what is the number one goal of the awareness marketing? What is your number one goal at the awareness phase? Let's see what we get. Let's see. And if you weren't on the call last week, you want to take a stab at it, throw it in there. Mickey, not on the call last week. The only one that's going to take a stab here. There we go. Now it's starting to show up. So far we have things like attraction, value, attention getter, establish that you exist, go from glance to stare. Kyle, it's funny you bring that up. That's actually tonight. Lorraine, engagement. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the actual answer. There's one goal at the awareness phase. Give it a second to see if anybody else wants to stab.
I was thinking engagement, but you're already shot that one down.
These answers aren't wrong, but they're not the goal. Nope. Now you're talking tonight, Jordan. Okay, everybody do me a favor. Put your hands up like this. And go like this. What am I having everybody do? Somebody tell me. What am I having everybody do?
Clap.
Clap or applause.
Applause.
Right? I'm getting myself an applause. The goal of the awareness phase is just to increase your applause rate. If you guys are all clapping for me, it's probably because what?
Because you're awesome.
Yeah, if I got done with tonight, thank you, Stephen. I think you're awesome too. But if I got done with tonight and all of you got a ton of value out of this and it was really good and you were excited about it, and we were in a live room and I was on stage doing this and I went to leave the stage and you got all this value, the natural reaction is to what? Applause, right? Well, me being there on stage teaching this, that is my whole goal, is to just get as loud of an applause as I can. I'm not there to sell you tonight. I'm just giving you information, right? I'm not there to do business with you today. We're not talking one-on-one. We're not going to make anything specific happen between you and me. I'm there to talk to everybody at one time, deliver a bunch of knowledge and information, give you value so that you can move forward. So if I get a really good applause at the end of it, that was a success, right? The byproduct of it is everything that you guys put. Did I create brand awareness? Yeah, now you know who the heck Sean Tiberio is. Now you know who Top Results Consulting is. Did I get you to stop and listen? Sure, probably when you first sat down in the room or you first jumped on the call, you don't know who this guy is, you're not really paying attention, but through what I'm delivering, all of a sudden you start to pay attention. But that's not my goal. My goal is to just see how big of an applause can I get. And I talked about this last week, the way that we judge applause in our digital space, in our digital marketing, is things like eyeballs. how many people are seeing it, likes, shares, comments, time spent on page. Mickey's share that she just gave you guys was, we took a deep dive look today into the applause rate of what she's been doing in her awareness level marketing. Her videos that she does, her Facebook lives that she do, the YouTube stuff that she does, all the other pieces that she's pushing out there. What's the applause rate of it? Well, we were looking at how many of those are getting to her website. Website visits is another way to judge her applause rate. How long are they spending on the website? When they're on the website, how many pages are they looking at? I want to increase all of that. That is the job of the content at that phase, right? Now, we transferred last week and started talking about what are the types of content that you can create that help this. And there was 5 of them. I called them 5 staple wrappers. I'm not talking about Tupac, LL Cool J, Eminem. But who can tell me, and you guys can either put it in the chat box or just blurt it out, what was one of the 5 rappers that you remember? Nobody remembers any of it, huh? Doo-doo. All right, now we got some coming in. The chat. The how-to, that was definitely one of them. How-to. Let's see, Dr. Andrea put in lead magnet with checklist. Not the lead magnet, it's just checklist. Checklist content was another wrapper. Answers was another one. Interview.
Like interviews
Jordan.
and answers and yeah, I think you just said that.
Yep, looks like Jordan kind of copied and pasted his whole notes from last week. So with stuff here, me actually.
That was actually from week 2 of April 27th, 2020.
So where is it? So these are the 5, the list, making list of things like resources, tools, tips, stats, people's brands, these type of things. These are good, the list type content. How to was another one. Answers, answering questions. We talked about this, thinking, what are the questions, the common questions that my prospects are typically trying to find answers to. These are the questions that I want to answer on. I'm not in my office, so I only have one screen. So I'm trying to move you guys, but see, you're blocking some stuff. The other one was the interview. This is using other in your industry, in interviewing them. Maybe it's just you sitting down and talking to them and then writing an article about it or writing a post about it. News was another
Where does
big
this
one.
term wrapper come from? Like, is
Because
it
I'm wrapping this information into my marketing.
Okay.
So the news, being trendy with news, being on top of it. And I talked about last week, this one is like, you got to be right on it, Johnny on the spot. We can't be talking about COVID-19 issues so much today because everybody's tired of hearing about it. It's not anything brand new about it, okay? Oops, now I'm getting into, if you guys actually paid attention to that slide, you'll know the answer to this next question. So those were the types of content that we could create. And I ended the night with, where do we use it at? And what are some of the ways to deliver it? And I literally was just on that slide. So let's see what you guys picked up and saw on there, or just think, like, where can I use this content at to create awareness level marketing for my business?
social media.
Social media is one. I see somebody wrote in blogs, podcasts, social media. Yep, blogging, posts, news.
YouTube.
YouTube's one. Video, right? Delivery. Those are the common ones. Blogs, podcast, video, social updates, social media. So I asked this question. If at the awareness phase, I'm using outlets like blogging, social media, video, podcasts, audio type outlets, these type of things, if these are the areas that I'm using to generate awareness level marketing, should my blog articles be creating customers? Should my phone be ringing off the hook because I'm posting on social media 5 days a week? What do you guys think?
Unless you have a call to action on it, right? I'm sure you
But
can have
even
great
then-
content, but if you got great content, if people don't know what to do with it or contact you about it, then they won't.
What's the goal at the awareness phase?
To
Applause.
get
Letting you know
engagement.
you're out there, letting them know you're out there and letting them know you have some expertise.
That's it. Building the applause rate, right? Getting them excited, having them comment on that post, or getting them to like it, or maybe getting it to share it to somebody else because they got value out of it. So should my blog articles, should I be, as the business owner, should I be going, I just wrote 7 blogs in the last week. Why isn't my phone ringing? I just did 15 posts on social media in the last week. Why isn't my phone ringing?
Because you're building
You guys understand what I'm
awareness.
saying here?
Yeah.
We're trying to measure our awareness marketing with a result of a different phase. So when we get frustrated and we're banging our head against the wall, Sean, social media doesn't work for me. I've posted on social media 5 days a week and I get nothing out of it. You see how crazy that sounds? Because the goal of social media is not to flood your inbox. It's not to flood your opportunity. Consistent awareness flood your inbox, flood your opportunities. Who remembers my analogy of awareness phase marketing? Where does that fit in the dating space? Some of you can have to go way, way back. Terry, I mean, oops. Roger, help them out. Where does awareness fall in dating?
Just making sure that they acknowledge that you're there.
That's it. When you met your wife, when did you guys hit the awareness stage?
It was actually in a group and she just mentioned something and we kind of locked eyes, knew that we were there, but that was basically it. We were both aware that we're both in the room.
He was at a party and she said something and that drew his attention to her. And he probably said something back and that drew her attention to him. They are now in the awareness phase. She put a social post out. Roger happened to see the social post, liked it, commented on it. She now notices Roger's this human that exists in the world. That's it. I'm emphasizing this because if we understand the point of what we're putting out, a lot of you guys have gone through some NLP stuff. If I understand the stimulus that I put out there, I can expect or dictate the response. My blog article is not going to get somebody to call me today to sell me their house. My blog article is not going to get somebody to call me and say, I want to become your client. That'd be the wrong response off of the stimulus, right? But will that blog article get them intrigued to say, that was really interesting. Oh, they've got this over here. They've got this over here. That was a kind of interesting comment that she made. I wonder what else she thinks about this. Wonder if I talk to her a little bit later tonight about this, right? That's how we move into the engagement phase. In digital marketing, engagement is a number of things. I talked a little bit about this towards the tail end of the night last week. It's the commenting back and forth. Marie made the joke. She can tell when I'm manually making engagement. I'm manually creating engagement on posts. And Marie, how do I do that?
You tag people in it and ask them why they liked it and didn't comment on it.
That's the one that
call 'em
sticks to
out.
her mind, right? What's some other ways to manually create engagement?
Ask question.
Say that again, Mickey.
Ask question.
Yeah. Maybe Marie liked my post, commented on it. Wow, I really like this. And left it at that. Could I reply back with another question?
What is it you liked about it?
And now Marie's engaging back again, right? That is the goal at the engagement phase. The goal there is simply to just get people to engage with you. Keep asking questions. It's the small talk phase of dating. I just became that person's aware. I'm chit-chatting back and forth, getting to know them a little bit. I'm asking questions. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I'm trying to learn more. They're probably trying to learn more about me. It's just a little bit of back and forth, right? But at some point, that back and forth has to go to the next step. In
Sean,
dating, you guys tell me. Go ahead.
Sean, question, it might be a newbie question, but in the awareness marketing phase, is there any kind of guideline or formula or plan that, or to how much you have to do, or is it just you have to touch all the bases and then see which one works for you?
Tell me a little bit more. What do you mean?
Well, in other words, we talked
What are you
about
trying to figure out?
blogging, video. We
Mhm.
talked about any of the things that try to get you awareness marketing. Is there a certain thing, a certain amount of volume that you have to do, a certain amount of touches, or is it just you pick out the ones that you're comfortable with, you work with them and see what the response is, then you adjust?
Short answer is what you just ended with. You figure out what you're comfortable doing,
Okay,
as long as you got two things. I got to be comfortable with it, because if I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to be consistent. And I need consistency first, right?
right.
So I need to be comfortable with it to stay consistent. However, I need to ask myself, is what I'm comfortable doing where my audience lives?
And you'll get that once you start seeing engagement.
Meaning, if I'm really comfortable creating video and playing around on YouTube, but my audience is geriatric medicine, or my business is something for women 80 to 91 years old, and I love doing YouTube videos, and I could be super consistent with YouTube videos. You see how me going super active on the YouTube video because I'm comfortable with it doesn't match where,
Right,
how many women 80 years old are on YouTube?
right.
So
Okay.
you got to find, what am I comfortable with where my audience is at? And
Gotcha.
wherever my audience is at, I got to find the comfortable one so I can get consistent there.
Mhm.
Now, to the other side of that question, how many of these, how much? Are you married, Sal?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. You're going to have to go way back. I get it. You're in Terry's category here. You have to go back a little ways.
Okay.
When you met your significant other for the very first time, how many times did you maybe see them, small chat a little bit, back and forth? Maybe it was a length of time, maybe it was a number of times before you actually said, hey, I'd like to maybe see you again, or go on something a little more formal here. Maybe take you for coffee, dinner, something like that.
All right. Well, I'm a good closer, so it took 3 times.
3. So I asked that question because that's how marketing works.
Right. Mhm.
For you in that moment, it was 3. But maybe if you had to go back and do it all over again, maybe your closing skills didn't get so good over the years.
It might
And
take
you're at
6.
10 now.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe the other person, right? The other person is a factor in this.
Well,
So this is the
it's always,
conversation I had with Mickey earlier today. It's not about writing 1 blog or 5 blogs or 10 blogs. It's about writing a lot of blogs,
right.
because 20% of those blogs will actually end up ranking and drive traffic in time.
Well, yeah, I know from my previous marketing experience that, you know, it takes 6 to 8 calls on a customer before they even pay attention to what you're saying. And then all of a sudden, you know, I had sales reps that would say, after the 8th call, the customer would say, "What did you just say?" And they'd say, "Damn it, I've been saying it 8 times. I've been saying it over and over again," but something caught their attention. And now they're honed in.
So awareness is all about just that. Create awareness, get people to start to move into that engagement phase. They're aware of me, they're excited about me, they like me, therefore they're going to come back and spend more time with me. They're going to spend more time in the moment because they're going to exchange some interaction with me. So content at the awareness and engage phase, same exact thing.
Okay.
However, to go from awareness engagement up to subscribe, which is the 3rd tier here, here's where I've got to change the mark. I'm getting ready to start asking this person for their phone number. I'm getting ready to start asking this person to go on a date. Getting ready to start asking this person to spend a little bit more time with me, right? To commit a little bit. I can't use the same things I was using before to get them there. I'm going to have to tweak it a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen, and I'm going to probably lose seeing half of you guys. So if you have a question as I'm going, just kind of blurt it on it. But content at the subscribe phase here. And this is what really generates leads. There's really one main goal, and that is this: drive a qualified lead, or known as a subscriber. Everything that we create at this phase, it's for one purpose only: to drive a qualified lead, get somebody to fill out a form, get somebody to opt in to my stuff, to get somebody to go next stage. So this type of content would not be getting thrown out the very first time that they're seeing it or seeing me or learning about me. So lead magnets, we've been talking a lot about this. Lead magnets are the type. It is the content piece that moves somebody to the next level. The definition of a lead magnet is an ethical bribe. It is an ethical bribe of value. You have something of value that will help them, and you're asking for this exchange of information to get it, not financial, just information. Okay. So types of lead magnets, there's 8. The report, free report on how to X, free report about blah, right? Insert anything on the end of that. White pages. White pages are things like 5 tough questions. White pages are really good for business to business. The reports are really good for business to consumer. So B2C for the report. A white page is B2B. White page is stuff like the 5 tough questions to ask when trying to close your client. The 5 tough questions to ask when you're to your SEO provider. Cheat sheet. This is a very common one. This is the one that has been picking up a lot of steam over the last year and a half, the cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is just what it says. It is a cheat sheet. So the ultimate SEO cheat sheet. The ultimate 5-step cheat sheet to drive leads. It's kind of like, here's what you got to do. Here's the answers to the questions, right? That's the cheat sheet. Mind map, this is something that's a little more visual on things. You don't see the mind maps as frequent anymore, but it is considered a type of lead magnet that's out there. Webinar, this is the one that is really, really popular today because people will give up their data, their information for free training. And the webinar is the fast way to deliver the training. This is, Jordan, this has been your kind of number one little hook on there. Liz and Marie, you basically, that video series is a webinar series, right? On there. So it could be as short or as long, but the sweet spot is 35, 45 minutes of just value dump. Don't try to sell, don't try to close. It's just pure value. We've got one launched right now. It's called this 7-step. I'll show it when I show the example of a landing page. It's a 7-step process to ultimate lead generation. Well, it's really a webinar, but we broke it into small videos across the 45, 50 minutes, 60 minutes of it. And it's 100% free. Just give me your name and email address, you get it. Templates. Templates are really good. People will opt in for templates like crazy. I see this a lot in the kind of physical, crafty, do-it-yourself kind of phase. Construction is very common with giving away templates. Designers are really good about giving away templates. These things that you can, hey, this is what I did. This is how I made it. Here's the template for it as a hook to get somebody in with it. Swipe file. Swipe file is, if you don't know what a swipe file is, it is nothing more than just a file of a bunch of examples or swiped information. I've got a bunch of ads that I've been paying attention to, the body copy of ads that I've been paying attention to for us as we're dabbling and playing with some different paid ads. And Mike and I were just joking about it on the meeting, our team meeting right before this. I'm creating a swipe file of ad examples. Jordan, you could use the swipe file as a lead hook. Swipe file of 2 commonly used letters to creditors. Basically giving them, hey, here's the template in a sense, here's the file with all the information in it. Now it's on you to figure out kind of, you can use it. HubSpot's really good about giving away swipe files and templates as quick opt-ins on things. The tool, this is more if you're a software company. So this one really wouldn't apply to many of you guys on here. Most of the people on this call, the go-tos are things like the reports, the cheat sheets, webinar. Anybody that's a service space, the webinar is huge for it. Swipe file, if you've got some things that people would want, templates would be another good one. But this webinar, the report, templates, and swipe files, those are like the go-to lead magnets. So the key here is, remember where we're at in this process. I'm at the engagement. They've been engaging with me and I want to move them to subscribe. But how many of you guys have more than one service or more than one product for your business? Each service has a different audience. Each product has a different audience, which means each service and product needs to have a different what?
Landing
If-
page.
A different magnet.
Who can tell me? A different lead magnet. A different lead magnet. Look at top results. We handle foundational level websites and marketing. We handle advanced SEO for those businesses that really want to dominate online, advanced SEO tasks. And we also offer social media services and CRM services. we need to have a lead magnet for each of those 4 because each of those 4 has a different customer journey. And people are going to be at the awareness into subscribe phase at different times. Not everybody coming to us for the foundation package, our foundational website, is going to be ready for our CRM, or is ready for our social media, or is ready for our advanced SEO. So 4 services, 4 lead magnets. But these are the types that you can mimic those off of. Now, how do we deliver them? We deliver them on a landing page. The goal of the landing page is simple: opt in or leave. That's it. It's the only purpose for it. There's no SEO value. There's no ranking power on it. Roger will talk a little bit about this, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks when he gets into his portion of this series. But at the end of the day, the landing page is just, it is a place. Here's the stuff that you want that I'm offering you that I have. Okay. And I'll show you guys an example of one of our landing pages here in a second on a lead magnet that we're delivering. Now, how do we get traffic to this? Basically what I'm saying here is, how do we get somebody to the subscribe stage? They're aware of us, they're interacting with us, they're engaging with us, but at some point I gotta tell them that I want to go to this next level. Well, I can tell them by putting it in the top bar of my navigation. Whether that's a big button that says, get my free whatever it is. It can be done with sidebars on the side of a website, something that slides in on it. It can be in what they call the in-post opt-in in your blog articles. You can literally talk about this. And in the post itself, say, hey, go get it here. It could be pop-up type stuff. I didn't even put all of them on this list here, but it could be things like social media, messenger, messaging somebody on social media and saying, hey, I noticed you were interacting and talking back and forth on this. I have this great resource. You can get it over here. Anything that can drive them over to it. Now, events is another way. I get it. COVID kind of killed the live event side. It looks like it's coming back in some areas. But what is this that we're doing right now? Is this in essence an event?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For you guys, it's a weekly training call for our clients. But let's take all that aside and say, what if we're just on a web training on how to generate better leads for your business? Are we doing an online event? Events are great lead magnets as well. Can somebody tell me why a lead magnet is a great, or an event, an online event virtually like this is a great lead magnet?
Captured audience.
It's a captured audience. How does it captured?
People have opted in. They want to hear something. They're open to listening to stuff when they've opted in and come to an event.
If we're going to do this virtually, how do I tell you where to get on it? How do I give you the link to get on?
You have
gotta
their
give 'em-
email.
Your email.
I got to email it to you, which means to email it to you, you got to do what?
Opt in.
You got to give me your email.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be like, Sal, I'm having this kick-ass party at my house next week. I hope to see you there, and never telling you my address. Are you going to show up? You'd be like, man, I really want to go to Sean's party, but he didn't tell me where he lives. How do I get there?
Oh, the challenge, we gotta figure out how to get there.
So events online are really good lead magnets because people want to be on it. Well, they will give up their email address really quick to be on something that they feel like is going to give a bunch of value. That's why I said the webinar lead magnet is one of the go-tos. I'm going to stop sharing so I can actually see everybody. So are we tracking here so far before I move too much deeper into this? To get somebody from that engagement side over to subscribe, it's all about giving. Giving of value. When I give them value and they opt in, what is that telling me, the business, about that person?
What they're interested in?
Absolutely, what they're interested in. But more important, not just so much what they're interested in. If I said, hey, we have a 7-step sequence, a 7-step series that you can opt in right now, go check it out. It's a 7-step video, follow it 1 to 7, and you will start generating nonstop leads online. And you went and opted into it. What is that telling me?
It's good value.
That
You want
they're-
more leads?
Say that again, Kyle?
They want more leads.
Yeah, you're hurting with leads because you wanted to go opt into my thing that says by doing this, you're going to get more leads. You're telling me you're hurting with leads. You're not where you want to be, because if you were where you wanted to be, would you opt into that?
No,
If you're getting enough leads and you're happy with your lead flow, do you need that?
no, I wouldn't need it. Perception
No.
is I wouldn't need it, yeah.
What if I created a lead magnet? I noticed Sal, every time I post something about email marketing, Sal starts asking questions on my posts. And I'm interacting and engaging back and forth with him. He's aware of me. I'm aware of him. We're interacting, we're engaging in the comment section. And I suddenly have this ultimate swipe file of the 10 best emails to send that will get people calling you tomorrow. And Sal reaches out and goes, hey man, how do I get that? I hear you talking about it. I know that you have that. I saw something about it. How do I get my hands on that? What does that tell me about Sal?
I need that email stuff,
Yeah, something's not working on your email
Right.
side.
right?
So why is this of value? Why is this stage so valuable for us?
Because if you want to
business.
get something, you're gonna have to give up something like your information.
But it's not even just that. Do I think if I sent you that swipe file, Sal, and you started using it, do you think it's going to immediately just give you all the perfect results and you'll never need anything else again?
No, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
have someone guide me through it.
Probably. Or it's going to get you a couple quick wins. You're going to feel better about yourself, but you're going to hit another what in a matter of time?
Tell the wall,
Another wall, another problem. Another problem is, well, you only gave me 10 and I didn't understand really how to use this, and I already blew through all 10 in the first 10 days. Right? So is it going to create another opportunity for us to talk?
sure.
And do you see how the more that I talk and the more that I give you some stuff, and I give you stuff, and I give you stuff, and I give you stuff, all of a sudden you're like, all right, enough's enough. Can you just do this for me? You obviously know it more than I know it. Can you help me? And now I've got that person in a position to actually talk about using my product or service. The problem with most small businesses, the way that they market, they're trying to position their subscribe and post-subscribe calls to actions and services in front of somebody at the awareness phase. And the way that I sum this up, it's like you walked into the place, Roger walked in, his wife today looked at him then and said something. He was aware of her and just went, will you marry me? Because that's what businesses are doing. They're running around going, will you marry me? 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 And they're wondering why they can't get anybody, or they only get a person, one, maybe two. Well, how many of you guys have more than one spouse that are married? And go back to, it's crazy to think this way, but if everybody under the sun, me running around saying, we marry me, we marry me, we marry me, if everybody's saying yes, 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 that quick, what's the first thought that goes through our head?
How many people are you getting married to?
For some reason, I'm attracting a bunch of easy sluts. Well, the same's true in business. If everything that I throw out and constantly try to sell, right? Push, 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 and everybody's saying yes, yes, yes to it, I started asking myself, man, am I just a slutty business? Is that all I attract is just slutty offer takers? Am I really getting the business that I want? The most crucial phase of all of this is that awareness engaged, the awareness engaged. That's where all of your energy needs to be focused on. Provide content, push information out, give people things that help them, that move them along the track, that warm them up, that get them to like you, get them to know you, get them to interact a little bit with you. The more you focus on that, the easier it, and it's like clockwork. They just start falling into the subscribe stage because you got enough, you got a couple pieces over here, a couple things of value that makes it that they're excited about, that they want. And they trust you now at this point, so they'll take it. Making sense? Give me a couple thumbs up if you guys are liking this.
I have a question, Sean.
Go ahead, Mickey.
Would you then say that it's like we are waiting for their proposal?
Not that you're waiting for their proposal, but go ask Israel. When did he know it was time to ask you to marry him? Because that's what's happening here. It's that I know it's time. It's time for me to ask them to go to the next level with me. If I'm active in a Facebook group, let's say, and somebody's interacting quite a bit with me, and then all of a sudden they start sending me a private message, asking me even more questions, and I start to notice that the questions are actually getting into things that I reserve to work with you guys directly with, or it starts to interfere with like, if I answer that, I'm kind of giving away what Roger and I have as a product with top results. It's time to ask for the next layer. So how do I get them to subscribe now? Our biggest lead magnet is to opt in to book a call for business breakthrough discussion. It's not even positioned as a sales thing. It's just, let's get on a call. Let me take a look at what's going on with your SEO. Let's take a look at what's going on with your website, give you guys some advice, suggestions, feedback. And most of the time, by the end of that call, they're going, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to do all that stuff. Is this what you guys do? Can you help me with this? And I've already advanced. Our subscribe phase is very low, right? So it's a gut feeling of, when do I need to ask for that? If I ask too early, I scare them away. If I ask too late, what's basically happening is I've been giving away too much value, too much information, and now they're just expecting I'm going to give them everything for free. So in the real estate space, it's things like when a lender starts asking you on, hey, what are the documents that I need to have when lending on a project? Or what should be in that document? Well, that's stuff that you work directly with those that you're doing business with, right? Hey, why don't we go ahead and take this to a deeper level? Let's schedule a call to talk about this. Or I got this resource where I've kind of put a couple checklist items in place. Go get that over there, because now I'm able to judge, are they just trying to get free information from me because they think they can get it like this quick? Or are they actually invested in this? And do they opt in and get that and take this deeper? Sellers, when sellers are starting to constantly ask questions, but they don't want to have you come out and take a look at the property. Well, at some point, I got to get them to subscribe here a little bit and go deeper in this relationship with me, because I've built the awareness, I've built the engagement, I've got them there, right? Not trying to say, I'll give you a cash offer when you just learned about me 2 seconds ago. This is the first time you've ever seen my post, and my post is saying, I'll give you a fair cash offer. They're like, whoa, a little forward, don't you think? Good question, though. Who else? Who else has got some questions? Nothing? Okay, I'm gonna leave you with this tonight. Because as we shift, next week, Roger's gonna go ahead and kick off about a 3-week series on the SEO side of the house, because a lot of this content is on the digital space. We want to get SEO value out of it. So he's going to get into talking about how do we figure out what are the blogs? How do we do the research around it? What is it? Because a lot of you guys aren't in our more advanced packages where we're doing it. If you are in one of our more advanced packages, at least you'll have an understanding of what we're doing, and you can always dabble with it and play around as well. But I'm not going to give too much away on that, but Roger's going to start to take it down this track. Now, how do we optimize, and how do we, at a very high level, do these different tasks? But what I'm going to leave you with this week as an action item is sit down, and knowing now what you know about awareness and engage content and subscribe tools, the lead magnet side, start making a list of topics that would be good topics to do blogs around, to do social media things around, to do all the stuff that we talked about, to do videos around on the awareness engagement phase. And some of you guys that have been playing around and having fun with this whole 30 and 30 challenge that stemmed out of the call after the call a couple weeks ago, that same list that we talked about that night, using commonly asked questions, questions that people aren't asking that you wish they would ask for, questions that you see them asking other people that they shouldn't be asking those people about, they should be asking you about. These are great places to start. But start making a list of things that you want people to start be asking around. And I want you to break it down per service or product that you offer. So my real estate folks, your service isn't just you buy houses. I'm going to challenge you to think deeper on that. You do more than just buy houses. That's the easy scapegoat, I don't really know how to market my business answer. Each of your service should have a list of questions. That those questions are going to eventually turn into content that's just going to build awareness and create engagement. Roger will teach you how to do it at a high level so we get value out of it. The other challenge that I'm going to leave you with this week is to start mapping and at least ask yourself, of my different services, what lead magnets do I need at each one? Or can I create one that will really work for a bulk of my services? And some of you put that work in a few weeks ago and you've got it up and running. Liz and Marie, for example, you got a good one, but you're probably thinking maybe there's something else I could use at some other points or against different audiences, right? This is a phase project. This is not something that in 1 week a business should be able to put all this stuff together and have it up and running and live and out there. It starts with, though, of those 3 phases, you guys tell me, what is the most important 2 of the 3 phases? Like if you had to put 80% of your attention every single week on it, where would you put it? The bottom 3 phases, where would you put the most attention on? Awareness. I saw that one come in the chat. Absolutely. Awareness and engage. Awareness and engage. If you build up your awareness and engage phase, if you put a ton of attention on that, if you put a lot of value and content into that, the subscribe, the people that are ready to do something deeper with you, will you're nurturing them up to get there. So at the beginning, it's going to be slow feeling, because you're going to be spending a lot of time out, a lot of energy out, a lot of value, a lot of value, a lot of value, a lot of value, and not a lot of opportunity. But it'll pay off. Mickey, you were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. For months now, you guys have been putting a lot of value, a lot of value, a lot of videos, a lot of things, a lot of stuff, really a lot of attention, a lot of blogs, a lot of different elements that was going out. And you've been seeing a lot of results now, right? But it took some time for that momentum. Now that she has the results coming back, she's able to analyze. I put this out, I get this in. Problem is, I'm not getting in what I want, which means what I'm putting out is pulling in the wrong thing. So I know it's going to work if I put out the right stuff. So now I got to change the message and put out the right awareness, the right engagement, so that in a few more months, all of a sudden, what's coming back is what I want coming back. And I'm starting to attract the right people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Anybody got their mind going in a million miles a minute right now? Roger, anything you want to add?
No, I think it's a good segue for next week, though. Took a couple notes as well, just off of I already seen your slides, but I think there's just kind of trying to gauge everybody's questions, where they're at. Just want to let you know, if you are already in one of our programs and kind of have that being done for you, I would definitely encourage you to still take, the time to kind of join us the next couple of weeks, because I think there's a space for you to continue to do more, right? So whatever we're doing already for you, what I'm going to be able to kind of explain and give you guys in regards to value in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you should be adding your own stuff. It doesn't always have to be directly project or business related. It can be something a little more personal that's related to business, and I'll kind of give you some examples on that. But I think there's a lot of value for you guys that are also on our packages. But for those of you that are just getting go maybe on our foundation package, yeah, get ready, because there's going to be a lot of note taken and some good processes I'll put for you guys. And also, I'm going to recommend a lot of tools. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff, new stuff that I haven't kind of given away before, just because there's new stuff out there now. Some of the tools have been giving a lot more, so I'll be sharing that with you guys as well. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Last chance. Any questions? Going once, going twice.